We are back on Morning Line. It's our final segment this morning as we talk about opioid addictions with Dr. Alan Edwards from, David Edwards. Alan's your middle name.
Middle name.
From Vanderbilt. He's a doctor there in pain management, and it's good to have him on. We were talking during the break about some of the more high-profile cases of opioid or drug addiction fatalities, and of course, it comes to mind someone like Prince, and the pills. I guess he had suffered from pains and aches from his very active stage performances, and over the years he started taking it sounds like, and then maybe he lost a handle on it. I don't know if we still fully understand exactly what happened with him. Michael Jackson now, propofol is something different than an opioid.
Right, propofol is an anesthetic.
That's what I've had that when I was knocked out for surgery, I believe.
For your colonoscopies or your surgeries, you can have propofol as an infusion, which puts you to sleep, and when you turn it off, it wears off and you wake up.
Yeah, and that's why it's ideal for surgery. You're not feeling anything, I suppose, something along those lines. Is there such a thing as where you, some of these experimental things where someone who's got a lot of a certain type of pain gets dipped into a tub of ice? Or why is it like NFL players get in a tub of ice? Is it just the typical thing of reduces swelling?
Yeah.
They take ice baths.
Anti-inflammatory, and also if you're providing different types or differential sensations to your brain, there's this theory in science called the gate theory. Providing different sensations to your brain will block the sensation of pain. Think about it. You rub your hand sometimes.
Yep.
If you've hurt your hand and you rub your arm.
You diffuse it, or you're feeling more the pain where you hit yourself with a hammer is still there.
Different sensations.
Okay, and so sometimes for a larger thing, if you're feeling it along, you go in. Now, I'm not sure I like the sensation of freezing to death, but
some people do.
That may be a change of pace. Let's go to Jordan. Hi, Jordan.
Hi.
Good morning. What's on your mind?
I've had multiple surgeries on my neck and back, and I take two gabapentins 3 times a day. They're 300 milligrams, and I take 150 milligram of tramadol 3 times a day. And I am just nervous and worried about the long-term effects on my body. I'm 56, and I was wondering what, is the long-term effects on my organs. That's what I'm kind of nervous about.
That's a good question. Sure. I wonder, you think, can it affect her liver? Can it affect her kidneys? That type of stuff.
In the scheme of a lot of different medicines, and it's different for every patient, you're not on a lot of pain medicine there.
300 milligrams sounds like a lot.
Gabapentin, okay. Gabapentin, the range for pain control in gabapentin for most adults is 600 to 1200.
Okay.
And you're at the bottom of the normal range, and I think you're okay with that. We've been using medicines like gabapentin for decades and decades for other conditions, so we know the long-term sequelae, and they are few. But for opioids, we're just learning about the long-term effects. And tramadol is a very weak opioid, but it is an opioid, so it'll have some of those same
What do you think some
things.
of those are that we're hearing that are still being looked at to be proven? I don't know.
So besides the dependence and addiction, it can mess with what we call our HPA axis, our hypothalamus, our pituitary, and our adrenal. And that controls our own body's hormones. And so you can get hormone disruptions. And that can worsen your pain. It can make you prone to depression. For men, it can cause further impotence.
Okay.
So a lot of things we're learning about undesirable long-term side effects of opioids.
Are there some pain pills, I thought I remember, where if you take them in large amounts, one, they can just cause constipation. 2, can you lose your hearing from some types?
Sometimes, they come mixed with other types of medications, NSAIDs and things like that. If you use those things at high doses, you can affect you.
I'm just saying, it's if you can. My take is, if I can, I want to avoid taking any kind of pill forever. It's just my thing. And of course, we don't always have that choice. Yeah, we just don't have that choice, and she doesn't. And it's good for her to be aware if you can wean yourself off it. But so many folks don't have an option. And I guess a good way to end this, perhaps, is from your perspective. And Vanderbilt always is cutting edge on a lot of this. What is on the horizon for the future of pain management? Is it going to continue to be be the dependence on opioids, or what is the new, perhaps exciting frontier that brings something along that's effective, that doesn't have the side effects or the addiction, if there's anything like that that exists?
So there are definitely things in the pipeline. The drug companies are helping to develop medications, but studies on these alternative options, the physical therapies, yoga is a big one. Yoga has been recently found to be very, very helpful, and so we all recommend our patients to be involved in those kinds of activities or similar activities. On the medication front, you know, one of the problems with opioids is they're so non-specific. They just bathe your entire body. But we use the term at Vanderbilt precision medicine, which means targeting very specific medications or very specific therapies for you as a uniquely genetic individual. And as we move towards that new era, we'll find medications that are more specific for the type of pain you have, rather than an opioid, which is non-specific and just treats everything.
Yeah, I sure hope. As always, it comes down to dollars and cents sometimes, and the cynics among us will say that pharmaceutical companies aren't real interested in working and spending a lot of money to come up with a non-addicting painkiller, because they're making hand over fist cranking out the addicting painkillers. I don't know. Do you buy that or not? Is there a lobby beneath everything else that's trying to prevent marijuana from becoming legalized for pain management because it would take away from these opioids? I don't know. Am I just being naive here?
Well, there's definitely a history of that in the United States.
And you would just hope, because as you said when you first sat down, there's still so much more for us to learn about pain management.
Right.
And people deserve to live their lives outside of pain, and I totally understand why so many of our callers are on this regimen. But the bottom line is, if you are in pain, you don't necessarily have to live with it. You just need to get a managed plan, go to your doctor. I mean, you shouldn't have to, right?
And some types of pain aren't going away, like diabetes. It's not going away, but if you can learn to manage your diabetes,
yeah,
you can find ways to help manage your pain.
Real quick, Mac, did you have a quick question? Are you there, Mac?
Yeah.
Yeah, real quick, go ahead. We just got a few seconds.
Two quick things. On my special forces team when I was in Vietnam, my medic, we worked for Cambodian soldiers, so I have firsthand knowledge that if you give too much morphine, it will kill you. When that happened to us, we shot up one of our wounded, and then one of our Cambodian soldiers came behind him and gave him a shot about 10 minutes later. So it definitely killed him. I have two sons that are addicted. The thing that's flying on the radar right now is this Suboxone epidemic that's going on. Also, there's clinics out there that's trying to help, supposedly, in quotation marks, help these kids get off of
Suboxone. You know, listen, we just got 30 seconds. Thank you for that. And I'm glad. Suboxone, I've seen that, and he's right. I've seen stories. We've just got about 30 seconds.
Suboxone and methadone are used to help people who are on other types of opioids that are more dangerous get off of those and to become functional again.
But it sounds to me sometimes that can be
they're
abused too. Okay, and that's a very good point. It's unfortunate. Some of the things designed to help also can be turned around and be abused as well, as we've seen in some cases. Dr. Edwards, there's so much more we can talk about, but I really appreciate you coming on. It's interesting, and I think we had a lot of calls. There's a lot of interest in this topic.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have you on again if you can.
Perfect.
Appreciate it. Thank you much, sir. We'll take a break, have a programming note about tomorrow right after this. Stay with us.